The sound of the final buzzer echoed through the stadium, and Jason stood frozen, staring at the scoreboard. They had lost. Again, his team, once considered the best in the league, had now suffered their fifth consecutive defeat. The crowd's murmurs of disappointment were deafening. His coach shook his head, and his teammates looked utterly defeated. Jason felt a storm raging inside him. Was he the problem? Was he simply not good enough? As he walked home, the weight of failure pressed on his shoulders. Every negative thought imaginable clouded his mind. Maybe I should quit, he muttered. Maybe I was never meant to play basketball. The doubt was like poison, seeping deeper into his soul. But little did he know, a single encounter was about to change everything. The next day, Jason found himself in a quiet cafe, staring at his untouched coffee. An old man sitting nearby noticed his gloom and spoke up. "You look like a man carrying the world's burdens on your back." Jason barely responded, but the old man continued. "Failure is never the end. It's only a lesson." Something about the man's tone made Jason look up. "What do you mean?" The old man smiled. "It's not failure that defeats a person. It's how they think about it. If you see failure as the end, it will be. But if you see it as a stepping stone, you'll grow stronger." Jason scoffed. "Easier said than done." The man leaned forward. "You know, I once coached a boy who thought exactly like you. He doubted himself so much that he nearly quit playing basketball forever." Jason's curiosity piqued. What happened to him? The man chuckled. "He became one of the greatest players in the world." Jason's eyes widened. "Who was he?" The man smiled knowingly. "The name doesn't matter. What matters is the mindset he adopted. He learned to see failure differently, to embrace challenges, and most importantly, to believe in the power of positive thinking." Jason left the cafe with a strange sense of hope. That night, instead of replaying his failures, he began reading about great athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders. He noticed a common theme. They all face setbacks, but they never let negativity define them. Instead, they fueled their minds with positive thoughts and unwavering determination. Determined to change his approach, Jason made a vow. No more self-doubt, no more negative self-talk. He would train harder, believe in himself, and see failures as lessons rather than defeats. The next morning, Jason arrived at practice with a new attitude. His coach noticed the shift almost immediately. Gone was the boy who slumped his shoulders and sighed in defeat. Instead, Jason was more focused, more resilient. Every missed shot became an opportunity to adjust. Every lost game became a lesson. His teammates noticed too. His energy was contagious. Slowly but surely, the team's morale began to rise. They started playing with more confidence, working together instead of blaming one another. Their losses turned into close games, and soon, close games turned into victories. Months passed, and the championship game arrived. Jason's team was facing their toughest rival, the same team that had crushed them in their previous games. The pressure was immense, but Jason's mind was clear. He had trained for this moment, physically and mentally. The game was intense, each team fighting tooth and nail. With only seconds left on the clock, the score was tied. Jason had the ball. The crowd held its breath. His heart pounded, but unlike before, he wasn't filled with doubt. He wasn't afraid of missing. He took the shot, fully believing in himself. The ball soared through the air, and swish. The crowd erupted in cheers as Jason's team won the championship. His teammates lifted him high, celebrating the victory they had fought so hard for. As Jason stood there, he realized something profound. The greatest change hadn't been in his skills, but in his mindset. The power of positive thinking had transformed him from a doubter to a believer, from a loser to a champion. He spotted the old man in the stands, smiling proudly. Jason walked over and shook his hand. "You were right," he said. "It was never about failing. It was about how I saw failure." The old man nodded. "And now you know the secret. Your thoughts shape your reality. Always choose the thoughts that lift you higher." Jason never forgot those words. He carried them beyond basketball, into every challenge life threw at him. And from that day forward, he never let negativity hold him back again. Positive thinking isn't about ignoring problems. It's about facing them with the belief that you have the power to overcome them. When you change your thoughts, you change your world.